Hey, how are y'all doing? So I only got one trade today. I I was kind of in and out with trading today. I mean I was here most of the day, but or I was focused most of the day. But all right. Anyway, so we got the overnight highs here, overnight lows. After what formed the overnight low here, we go into this uptrend. We have a two-legged break and then a couple attempts higher. Now I quickly want to talk about this. So you have this uptrend break, and now usually what I'd see is uptrend break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, and that's basically right. You get the uptrend break, couple attempts higher, it pulls back, it makes a second leg higher. But what it kind of looks like is, and this is on a bigger picture, and I know I am looking at this after the fact, but I've been noticing this more in real time more often now too. It's when trends get like a two-legged break and then a couple attempts higher, and so basically looking at this whole two-legged move as the break and not considering that a first attempt higher. It's something new I've been looking at. It doesn't apply to every trend, and I'm not like a master at this right now, but it's just something I've been looking at, because it just kind of looks like it. Uptrend, two-legged break, and then you get a couple attempts higher, makes the new high, then reverses. And that's been something I've been noticing more, and trends coming in from like a range breakout, they just faded back in. Then you get a trend, two-legged break, and then you could get an entry at the low of the second leg down there. Not that I think that there's, oh, whoops, what did I do? Not that I necessarily think there's a good entry there, but a lot of times there is on these, trends that get two-legged breaks and then enter in the direction of the trend. So it just kind of looks like, the break and then the two legs up and then the reversal. So it's just something I wanted to point out. I've been seeing it more often. I've been trying to trade based off of it, but I haven't been doing it for that long, so I don't really want to advise anything. But anyway, so 8 o'clock is around right here. So uptrend break, what at first you would see as the first attempt higher, and then it's around 8:30 right here, and then you get the second attempt higher right around 8:30. And so that's basically how you'd originally see it, and then as more price action forms, you'd start to see this bigger picture stuff. But you get this range, you can get it pretty fast just off of this resistance down here. You put in the lows, drag it up to the high. You get these two legs up to the high, and then I marked this area here because you get this lower high. And I do see that it's technically a failed second entry. You get the first entry long right there when it ticks higher, and the second entry long. But that's just a little break of a bar. I don't really consider that to be much. To me, it just looks like a breakout, and then the first break of this little downtrend indicates the lower high. So I just see a lower high right there. I didn't take it because, I was kind of worried about how it just rejected the EMA there. I would have preferred a reversal pattern. We did get to the overnight high. That's the thing. We barely reached it. Within one tick of reaching it, we got there. And then we just push lower, bounce off the EMA, and then get a lower high. I really was wanting price to just push through and then give a lower high below, and I would have taken it. But we did have a bullish imbalance. We just held, above, we held above midway through this range 3 times. So that is a sign of a bullish imbalance. And so, of course, it can still recover at this point. It can still turn down and then completely go back to normal. But at this point, there's a bullish imbalance. I did not mean to say bearish imbalance, if that's what I was saying. But it just looks like a bullish imbalance, and then you can't even get below the EMA. So I wouldn't want to be taking that, although you can see that it works, though. And it never comes back to stop you out until up here. Or not stop you out, but, where your stop would have been, because you clearly would have gotten out. But we push lower to the other side. So then here we go into this downtrend. We have a break, a couple legs down. So at this point right here, you can just see we've broken out of this range. Most breakouts fail. We're making a high. After we start to bounce here, we can tell we're making a higher low from this previous low. And so when you get this reversal pattern, which is basically what this is here, because you can see it's a first entry short, second entry short, failure. And technically, you have it right there, first entry short, second entry short, failure, but you get a leg up, break, another leg up, and then a tick lower there. So that's basically a reversal pattern, rushing above the EMA, holding it back above the EMA right there. Downtrend played out. It's at the perfect area for a reversal pattern, but it's not a very good looking reversal pattern, to be honest, because it can all fit into this little trend line. It's too likely to break and then make the new high, which is where most reversal patterns are anyway. A break of the trend pushing above the EMA, that's the best place for a reversal pattern. It's just too likely to break and stop you out, so I don't like to enter them when they're inside of that initial trend. And so anyway, we eventually go into this bigger channel here. We get a break, couple legs to a new high, which I actually entered on this leg right here. Now, usually this wouldn't have looked like a great trade to me, but I was basically I took it because we were fading this range here, and so without the range there, assuming that it wasn't there and it was valid not being there, and price action was different, this just looks like uptrend break, new high, and then entering into the highs of the move. But what I was thinking here is, okay, the momentum shifted, we were moving down, the downtrend played out, we bounced early, made a higher low from the previous low, and now we push higher. And so we just faded the range. We're all in here, we just faded the range. It's very likely to have a second leg. The EMA just held twice. Like I just said, it's very likely to get a second leg higher. It's basically at the perfect spot to make a new high. The only issue really being is that we already made a new high. I was basically just betting on a second leg because that's not a significant new high. Like, that's a double top. Like, that is clearly like uptrend break, new high right there. Not really, it's not much so right there. That's literally just by a tick or two. So I was really thinking it could make a convincing new high, and it'll probably be a measured leg, and then this isn't even this first leg is a lot longer than what my target was, so I feel pretty good about it. I kind of wish that it went a little further because it did end up going to where my stop would have been. Now, I feel like maybe this is one of those trades I should have just gone 1-to-1 on, if I'm being totally honest, because it did technically have a new high. It is a little bit congestive looking, but it wasn't so, because it made this high here, but then it could only reach it with wick that one other time, and then it couldn't reach it there. So I was thinking it's probably not very strong of a mini range there, and I think I'm probably right. But either way, I just wanted to point that out. It looks like a pretty good trade to me. And so then we do find resistance midway through this range. We can't get past it. We push back. We try to go higher again. We fail. We make this double top. We push lower. Bounce off the range lows again. Rush above the EMA. We go into this mini range right here. We get this breakout pullback. Obviously, you don't want to take that. It's just a breakout pullback in the middle of a range. That's terrible. So that in itself is really bad. Just a first entry, just a higher low. Really no reason to take it. So anyways, then we do have a bigger breakout pullback where it goes all the way back in, and then you get an entry all the way up inside the range, so you definitely don't want to be entering there. But then we clearly can get these three lows right here and drag it up to the highs. We're in this channel here, this uptrend channel. And anyway, so after we get that third bounce, we're in the range. We rush above the EMA. We go into this short-term trend line here. We have a break, new high, uptrend played out. And then as soon as the uptrend played out, we have the couple legs down. Now, what could happen is, the uptrend, has a break. It could make a new high. Looks like we're getting this break. So since I can draw this as a structure, I consider everything in this range here to be a break. So it's like uptrend, break, and then I don't consider that a first attempt at a new high, and I don't consider that to be the first attempt at a new high for the uptrend break. I'm only going to consider it to be the first attempt higher after we actually get a break of this structure here. So like uptrend, break, first attempt higher, breaking the structure, and then the second attempt higher being relative in size to the first attempt higher, not just a break and then a tick higher. They got to be relative in size. The legs, they have to be relative in size. So if you want to go for the big picture moves. But I think I've basically gone through the whole day. I don't know if I skipped over anything. Maybe I didn't go into enough detail. Let's see how long this is. It's only 9 minutes long or 10 minutes long. Usually these videos are like 18 minutes or something. So I kind of feel like I didn't go over as much stuff. Oh yeah, and last week, sorry for not uploading a YouTube video on Thursday and Friday. I was really busy. I was working on something with my brother. I was actually trading at the same time. I was on the site a little bit, not as much as I wanted to be. I wanted to be on there more, but I just kept getting taken over. I was so busy. But I had 2 red days last week. Thursday and Friday, both red days, and first I don't think I actually made a post on Friday, which I was supposed to. End of day post on the site is what I'm talking about. And so basically on Thursday I shared my loss. I took this loss, and then I just didn't have time to trade anymore, and I was done for the day. Down like 2.75, I think. And then on Friday, I forget what it was on Friday, and whatever. So a couple red days last week. I was just distracted. I was busy all day. I had hardly any, whatever. I'm not trying to make excuses, but 2 red days. It's fine. It didn't hardly do anything to the first 3 days of the week. I was up quite a lot still, but anyway, that's gonna be it for the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all learned something, and yeah, I'll see y'all next time.